All right, welcome back to I'm Glad You Asked. I'm Bianca Ariel, business coach and co-founder of Shop Black and Influential.
Hey guys, I'm Dominique Rice, serial entrepreneur and co-founder of Black and Influential. Thank you so much for being here today. As you can see, we have tropical vibes. We are still in America, but we are in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, so we just, like we mentioned in the last episode, we decided to come here this week actually. So Dominique was talking to me and then she's like, and at the end of the day, can we just go to the Virgin Islands on Saturday? And I was like, okay, let me make some stuff happen. So we are here and it's absolutely beautiful. We're actually on a private beach. So our hotel is kind of secluded, which I was a little bit nervous about because we are far away from everything, but actually it's such a beautiful property and we have a private beach, as you can hear in the background. So we're really going to get a lot of work done and it's going to be a peaceful vibe.
Yes, I'm loving it. I've been waking up on the beach 6 o'clock in the morning, watching the sunrise. It's been amazing.
Awesome. All right, so our topic for today is going to be about setting your manifestation goals. And when I say that, I know that we talk about that all the time. You know, one thing I know about you is your goals are very aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And as we talk to individuals that are outside our camp, you know, once we start to mention our goals, you can kind of feel their energy tense up.
Yeah.
And I think it really demonstrates the limitations that they have on themselves. And I feel like they've been trying to place that on us.
For sure.
So talk a little bit about that. First of all, why do you feel like your goals are aggressive sometimes?
Always. So my goals are always aggressive because I can say for certain that I've never ever said I'm going to do something and I didn't do it. And it's to the point where I don't say things because sometimes I'm scared to say something because I'm scared that it's going to happen. So like when I talk about certain things, I don't say it because I'm like, oh, that's going to happen. But you have to be specific, you know, because you'd be like, man, I really want to go to the beach. But then you don't say, and I want it to be with Bianca and it to be sunny weather and it to be great vibes, and you go to the beach by yourself and you're bored and you're lonely and it's bad vibes, you know? So with manifesting, you have to be specific. So yes, I'm always told, like, looked at like, you can't do that, or that's a lot, you know, that's too much, you know, and so, but I've never not been able to do it. So for all the naysayers and those new to manifesting, you can totally manifest whatever you want. You can do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm the type of individual, so when I hear your goals, like in my head, I'm like, whoa, that's aggressive, but it doesn't scare me because like I'm about that life, but I don't speak my goals to other people.
Right.
So I've always been an individual where I don't do a lot of talking, I do a lot of action. That's just plain and simple when it comes to my personal fulfillment, my personal goals, things that I'm trying to achieve. Number one, when I'm focused on something, I don't always want to be asked about it because I feel like I just want to kind of just set myself straight and I don't want to constantly be harassed. And then secondly, it's like, you know, I guess internally, if you're not constantly just putting your goals out there, whether you hit them or not, it really doesn't affect me because it's only a conversation or relationship that I have with myself.
Right.
So one thing I do like about being friends with you and being business partners with you is that you're just like, no, this is our goal. And then you'll go around and start telling everybody what it is. And then I'm just like, okay, well, that's what it is. Like, that's just what it is. And I think about, you know, a lot of people are scared to really reach their goals. I've ran into that a lot, where a lot of people, they don't want to make vision boards. They don't really want to write down what they want because they are actually afraid of success. And I'll tell you right now, it's not an easy path, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. And it's really not ultimately about reaching that destination. I think that's obviously the huge component, but it's really about the journey in between. Everything that you go through in life and everything that you set forward is preparing you for the next step. And I think that the experience and the journey is what makes it all worth it.
Right. Do you know why people are afraid to reach their goals?
No, because I don't understand that.
Well, I think a lot of times why people are afraid is because they don't know what's next. You know, okay, so you buy your dream house. You know, people really aren't happy with themselves. So they strive for these goals. And then when they get them, there's nothing else to strive for. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm gonna have to get this little guy up out of here. He's been fucking with me this whole show, pardon me. Sorry about that. We're not gonna cut that. So
No.
There's real bugs on the islands. But when people are scared because people aren't happy within. So when they reach their goals, there's nothing else for them to work on. There's nothing else for them to strive towards. So they're like, well, what's next? There's nothing else next. So they're not fulfilled. And so that's why a lot of people are scared to reach their goals, because their goals is what keeps them going and keeps them motivated. When there's nothing else next, there's nothing else for them to look forward to. So more importantly than goals and manifesting what's next and what's for you is to be happy with it and enjoying the journey. You know, like whether we hit this goal or that goal, I am genuinely happy with my life. I am genuinely loving that. So no matter what, I could make $1 million selling this book. Or this venture could do this venture could do that. But today I'm on an island with my best friend. Like, and I'm chilling, you know. Tomorrow I'm gonna be on the island with my best friend,
right.
Chilling. So no matter what, you have to be happy with it, and you have to be happy reaching for those goals, and it can't be miserable. Yes, there's going to be hard work, but you also have to be happy. So you know, when people are reaching those goals, make sure you're enjoying the journey, because if you're not, you have to say, well, why am I doing this? And if you're not going to be happy when you get there, because it's going to be something else, you know. So that's the key, is to find happiness within, not happiness at your goal. Because then it's just going to be something else.
I will tell you right now, I'm a Capricorn, so we thrive on our goals, and I basically live for achievement. But one of the most depressing times in my life is when I was at the ultimate high of my career, because it was almost like my whole goal was to finish my master's degree and make 6 figures. And when I got there, I was so unhappy. And I couldn't, and that, like you mentioned before, I couldn't get past what's next. I didn't have, so imagine going through your entire life kind of striving for this particular goal, and you're working, and unfortunately and unfortunately for me, it happened very quickly. And at that time, it was kind of like, okay, so is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? And I ultimately didn't feel fulfilled, and I was always striving for a destination, and I had to realize I'm never going to get there. I'm just the type of person, I'm never going to reach full fulfillment. I'm going to constantly be transitioning. I'm going to constantly be trying to improve myself. I always want to go for the goal, and that's just my personality. I always want to explore new things. I love stability and security, but I'm always going to be seeking adventure, and I have to realize that there's never going to be a destination for me.
Right.
And so, once I finally realized that, it helped me live in the present, and, you know, focus on the future, understand the future is still important, but really just kind of take in what's happening right now. And I will honestly say that's what helped me move out of depression.
Right. And I had a very similar experience, you know, with when I was running one of the most successful nanny agencies, in my opinion, in the country. I also owned a franchise of a very well-known babysitting service. I was miserable. I hit rock star, which is one of the highest achievements you can reach in that franchise. My first year of owning the franchise, which was unheard of. I wasn't even 30 years old. I was going to the conference, and people were asking me who I worked for. When I was the one receiving the reward, I was the owner and the boss, and people worked for me, you know, and those are the achievements and I was miserable, you know. I achieved all these things, and I wasn't happy because I didn't enjoy the journey, because I wasn't enjoying that time.
Right.
There were things that I was doing that I did not enjoy, and I had to remove those things from my life. And once I removed those things from my life, and I focused on what I do enjoy, what's important to me, and the journey, then I was able to say, you know what, it wasn't that job, or it wasn't that business. There were lots of parts of that particular business that I did not like, but it was also, I did not enjoy that journey. And so really finding a journey that you enjoy and that's something that you're passionate about is the most important thing, because you just manifesting something because it's a materialistic thing, or, you know, a Birkin bag, you know, or something that's gonna make you look good, all that stuff is great, but you can't manifest happiness. You have to feel that joy.
And you can't seek happiness outside of yourself.
Right.
So that's very important to understand. And when it comes to speaking your goals, I know for us in meetings we talk about goals and objectives. So those are things that we have to speak on. But I'm really I've really learned that it's all about your vibrations and what you really feel. And a lot of people are really afraid of success, and they're afraid to feel that. But in order to really achieve that has to be in your vibrations. So I really believe you can write down all the goals that you want, but unless you really feel like it can happen, it's not going to happen. Not only do you have to write them down, you have to really believe that it's going to happen.
Right.
And we are attached to things that we can see and things that we cannot see, okay? And so if my limitation is like, okay, I'm used to making this amount of money, so this is the type of lifestyle I'm used to, so I'm only operating in a realm to where, okay, this is the type of house or this is the type of apartment that I can get, and I'm really striving to break beyond that barrier, I have to be attached to things that I don't even know exist. I have to be attached to things that I've never even been a part of. I have to be attached to rooms that I've never been in. I have to be attached to tables that I've never sat in. Like, I don't have those experiences to really rely on, and I think that's very difficult when you're really trying to break through the next area of success. But at the end of the day, when you're speaking your goals and you're speaking your objectives, and other people kind of sense like, you know what, or you're sensing other people are like, ooh, that's aggressive, or like that's I don't believe that's going to happen, or that's unrealistic. You have to know that as long as you feel that in your vibrations and you really are trusting the universe, that you can really make it happen. But it's really ultimately up to you. You have to believe it.
Right.
You have to believe it.
Right. And that's when visualization comes in. And you know, even though you haven't been in those rooms, what's really important is to imagine yourself in that space. So, you know, there's activities that I literally put myself in positions, you know, like people laugh at this, but like I became a better dancer over COVID. Even Bianca knows I'm a better dancer now. Yes. Tell them.
Yes, you did. She is a better dancer now.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because I was practicing, okay? So if things ever did get rough, okay? Players Club, the Pink, Onyx.
Are strip clubs open right now?
Yes. Some are. Be ready for me, just in case. Just joking. But I have been practicing my dance move because I visualized myself at the club. Like, I'm going to throw this ass back. Like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. So just the same way I visualized throwing this ass back in the club, y'all can visualize yourself sitting at a table like, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet this. Or I'm going to, you know, if I was at this meeting, this is what I would say. You can visualize yourself there, feel it. What does that feel like? What are you gonna wear? How would you position yourself? How would you smile? How would you talk? You know, that way when you have those opportunities and you are in that room, you're prepared because you've already been there. You already been at the table. I already throwing my ass back. So I already know when this song comes on, I'm gonna throw my ass back to this song like this. Okay?
And when you're doing these what do you say?
Visualizations.
When you're doing these visualizations, it shouldn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't feel resistant to it. It should feel like very organic, very natural. Yeah. Like, I don't want to, like, you know, when I'm manifesting things, I don't want to be like, okay, I gotta force this to happen. No, it's like I really want to live in the vibration. Like, this is for me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and nothing happens by accident.
Right.
So, you know, it's not always comfortable. It's not a comfortable situation at all, but these are things that you're going to start to learn and develop, and it's going to start to feel right as you continue on your journey.
It does. So practice it, y'all. It really takes practice, you know. And honestly, I grown up an only child, so I've been doing it as a kid. I always been playing by myself, you know. I used to practice the first day of school. Like, oh, my first day of school, because I went to 10 schools. I saw my wear on my first day, so I'm going to say hi, so I'm going to walk in on my first day. I was visualizing before I knew what visualizing was. I was just always preparing, you know. Part of it is my Virgo type A personality, you know. But I prepared for my first day of school since probably second grade. I would prepare for client meetings. I would prepare for everything, and it's part of visualization. Another thing too, when you're manifesting or you believe something and someone calls you out on it or someone doesn't believe in you, call them out on that shit. Tell them, you know, say, you know what? I'm sorry that you don't believe that I can do that, but this is what I believe. And they'll catch themselves, because sometimes people are negative. They don't even know that they're knocking you down, because they're so used to knocking themselves down that they don't even know what they're doing, because they don't even believe in themselves. So how can someone believe in you when they don't believe in them?
Right.
So you can't even take it personal. So when someone says, you know what, can you do that? Or is that a good idea? Say, hey, let me stop you right there. I believe I can do this. And if you don't believe in it, no. They'll correct themselves very quickly. They really will. Mm-hmm. And you call them out. Really. And choose not to work with people. You know, I've had to call people out during our project and say, hey, this is, and I only tell people what we're going to do, because if you don't believe that we can do it, then maybe you don't need to work with us. And that's okay.
Big facts.
So everybody doesn't need to be on this ship, because this ship is going, you know.
It is definitely going.
So either you on it or you're off it, but don't think you're going to get on the ship and when it's sailing. Because if you ain't on the ship when it's on the dock, when we at sea, you ain't going to be like, hey, come back. It's gone. We out.
We out. And we out.
So what's our fun question this week?
You know, I never have a fun question.
Okay.
How do you feel about hooking up with people overseas? Like, is that something you do? Like, is that an expectation when you go overseas and you're single? We're not overseas, but we're in St. Croix, so it's technically overseas.
Right.
But yeah, what's your perspective on hooking up when you're out of the country?
So I do not Tinder or date online when I'm overseas. I don't believe in that. First of all,
why?
I just don't. I personally don't. Like, I feel like if I meet somebody naturally overseas and like we hit it off or whatever. But I also think that people pry on women overseas.
Okay.
Pry, whatever you want to call it. You know, and people aren't, you know, don't always have the best intentions, especially with women. I'm not super naive, like, so I may be a blonde, but don't get it twisted. I know the game. So I'm not opposed to it. I see why a lot of people do it, but I genuinely don't go. I mean, I ain't gonna say I ain't never done it, but you know, I truly don't travel to just go hook up with people. That's literally like not my thing, and I am totally not super like. I'm very open, okay? So I'm a very free-spirited person, but I don't just go out overseas to be like, ooh, let me see what I can do because I'm out of town. Like, I'm just not that kind of person.
Yeah, you know me, I'm like square, you know, I'm not doing it. If something happened naturally or organically, then that's one thing, but I'm definitely not going to be going to look for it. Yeah.
But if we did go out with a group of people, like from the States and stuff, the likelihood of me like hooking up with somebody from the group is much higher. I'm just saying, like, if it's like a whole bunch of homies, you know what I'm saying? Like, if my homies brought some homies, like, you know, the likelihood is higher there than just me meeting some foreigners and just being like, what's up? Because, like, I don't want people in our room. Like, I'm not going to their house. Like, the situation's weird. Where are we going to hook up at? Like, I'm very, like, what are we going to do? Get another hotel? Like, what? Where do you hook up at with random people overseas?
I have no idea. You know, but...
I don't know.
I know. Sorry.
So, that's my answer. So, I mean, I don't even know what one would go about hooking up at.
I don't know. But
the beach? I guess people do that.
I guess you could do that.
I don't really like that because I don't like sand in my vagina.
I prefer, you know, for a nice young lady to come fly out to where I'm at. And
right.
We can have like a rendezvous if we had to. But
I agree.
I'm not no island for me.
Yeah. See, I would prefer like a friend bringing a whole bunch of single friends of his, and then like let me be like Dominique Bachelorette and let me pick which ones I want. That's what I like.
All right, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. You can find Dominique at DominiqueRice.com. You can find me at BiancaAriel.com. And make sure you follow at Shop Black and Influential on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And we'll see you back next week. Bye.
Bye.